My name is Tony Mango, and I am the founder of Fanboys Anonymous. When I first heard about a Flash television series, I thought that would be impossible. But then they made it good, and did the impossible. To any newcomers to the Reviewpoint show, we use our powers of geeking out to bitch and complain or go nuts over what we love. I am a fanboy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of the Reviewpoint podcast, coming to you from fanboysanonymous.com, of course. And as I mentioned, I'm Tony Mango, host of your panel, and as I mentioned in the previous episodes, I am joined with fellow fanboys here. We've got Sam Lassio.
What's up, everybody?
We've got Shaun Walker.
I'm Shaun Walker, and I want to be somewhere else, preferably in my bed, sleeping.
He wants to be something else.
We just got done talking about Arrow. We talked about Gotham a little bit earlier, and now we're going to talk about The Flash. That's our target for this one. All of Season 1 in general, giving a recap of what we thought about that. And of course, I need to remind you guys, there will be spoilers for not only the finale, but the entire season. So if you have not watched The Flash and you don't want to be spoiled, bookmark this, come back later after you've watched it and check it out. Or if you don't care about the spoilers and you're trying to figure out if you should watch it, spoiler alert, yes, it's good. But go ahead and listen to us, and then you can make your judgment call after that. If you're unfamiliar with how Reviewpoint works, it's pretty simple. We go through, usually like the characters are the primary thing that we talk about because we can break down the plot a lot easier and just talk about how things went for the show. And we give things a hit or a miss. And at the end, we wrap it all up. Tell us your biggest hit, your lowest miss, that kind of thing. But we need to start off, of course, with our overall first impressions. Guys, what did you think about Flash Season 1? Is it a hit or a miss?
Oh my god, Grand Slam, it's a hit.
John?
Loved it. It was so awesome.
I went into this, as I mentioned, that stupid, cheesy little intro that I had to do. Couldn't resist doing that kind of shit.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's bad, and I should feel bad. When they announced that they were going to do a Flash TV show, I was like, what the fuck? You can't do a Flash TV show. He doesn't have great villains. I know people love the Rogues Gallery, but let's be honest, they suck.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Glider? Come on. It's not Batman. It's not Spider-Man. You know, not even Superman. Like, they have much better rogues than Flash does. Flash is too overpowered for it. How are they going to do a show about this, whatever? They pulled it off. They did a damn good fucking job.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very, very happy. I'm very looking forward to Season 2. We'll talk about some theories and stuff like that going on, but let's go character to character here. Talk about the Flash himself, starting off, Barry Allen. I always liked the Wally West characterization more, and I'm glad that they kind of made Barry a little bit like Wally, because without it, Barry's a little bland. But when you make him like the goofy kind of guy, he works. I like Grant Gustin playing the character. I think he's good. I think I'm going to end up liking him a lot better than Ezra Miller. I know that.
Actually, yeah.
So that's a little disappointing that the movies aren't going to be able to live up to it. But then again, maybe they won't. I don't know. I thought that this was going to suck for a TV show, and it ended up proving me wrong. So hopefully they prove me wrong with that. But I like him. My downside to The Flash, I don't like the costume still. That's a miss to
I'm
me.
okay with the costume, but I'm glad that in the finale, when you kind of see the blurred version of future Flash, it's much more classic Flash. Like, they blur it so you don't get to see the details. But just the fact that it has the white chest symbol, automatically this is telling me that most likely it's the classic Flash costume.
That's not the problem I have with it, with the white symbol. I don't like...
Well, no, like, I just think that shows that maybe they will give him the classic costume later.
My problem is the chest area is made up of a different material, and it looks like that can't move when he moves his arms. Like, it's too... kind of like...
rigid?
Yeah, like if he holds his arm up a little bit too high, the entire center just moves. And it's like, it seems like that'd be the type of thing where they could have figured that out before they even started shooting, you know?
Yeah.
That's always thrown me off.
I just don't like the fucking mask.
Mask could be better too, yeah.
It's just stupid design. I don't like the fucking black lines on it. It's fucking stupid.
You know, I'm really like... I wish that they would go more for. I know this isn't in the comics, and it's some people would probably, if they saw it, they would call me like a travesty for doing it. He should wear goggles or something.
Yeah, I never understood the whole like if any debris gets jammed into his eye, like how does he not just react to that?
Mm-hmm.
I know they explain the quick healing thing, but that doesn't explain how like a fly at those speeds should be taking his eyeball out.
Right. Like, I'd be fine, he uses the little white slits in the comics. Not all the time, but he does do that in the comics now and then. And it's not the same as Batman, where Batman, thankfully, in this new series that they're doing with the films, there's going to be at least one scene with the white eyelid thing, which
and
I
it's not going to be terrible like the Dark Knight, where it almost just looked like goggles.
I still
This
thought
actually
that was cool.
It was a nice homage, but they were so huge that it was like off-putting. His eyes, I mean, at least in the like comics and the animated series, the white of his eyes was always much smaller.
Yeah. But I do think that it would be kind of cool if they incorporated some kind of goggles and like his white goggle kind of thing like that. Shaun's linking us right now in the Skype chat that we have going on with a different variation of it from DeviantArt. Who is this person? Daniel Morpheus, it looks like. A little shout out to you on there. Good design. I like that.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of Injustice Gods Among Us, but mixed with classic.
Yeah, I like that design.
Yeah.
Although
Ears
I was just going to say the little wingtip lightning bolt ears are very distracting, but thank God we don't get that for Captain America, by the way.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't do
that. What do you guys think of Barry, though? Shaun, is Barry a hit?
I like Barry. I just don't like Grant Gustin.
Any reason in particular?
I think he looks like a nonce.
Like a what?
A nonce.
What's that?
Seriously, fucking
like a pansy?
Yeah.
Damn Welsh slang.
He looks like a faggot. Yeah.
Okay. See, we have those in America too.
Skinny jeans and shit.
I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with his outfit. He dresses like a smart science nerd.
I kind of like that about him.
I always thought it was a little disappointing, actually. Like, obviously they're going with someone younger for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but if they had gone, like, same route where he's slightly older, maybe like a senior in high school a little bit, he could have played Peter Parker.
Yeah. I would have been down for it. If Grant Gustin would have been, like, when they were casting instead of... I mean, I like Andrew Garfield a lot. I think he was great for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He could have been Spider-Man.
And plus he was in Glee.
Oh, he was?
I don't watch Glee.
Oh, shit. That would explain why they had that one scene where he was
singing.
Episode,
yeah.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. Well, they shoehorned that in, didn't they? Fuck.
Yeah, but see, since you didn't know, it didn't take away anything from it.
Right, Katie Lotz. One thing I do like about this show that I did not end up seeing at the beginning of this, I thought I was going to really dislike the dynamic between Barry and Joe. But I like Joe.
I like Joe.
I actually thought I was going to hate the dynamic between him and Iris.
There's some problems there.
Yeah, I agree.
She's a little bitch.
Iris is beautiful. And thankfully, she's not as annoying as Felicity is. But there are times where she becomes Felicity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly that just shows that that's the writers and CW. That's not like Arrow didn't breed that. That was breathed into Arrow. And the same thing carried over into The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of people that really, really hate Iris. And some of it I think is unjustified, but...
Oh, my sister wants it dead.
Wants who?
Any particular reason why?
Iris West dead. She just can't stand the bitch. She just kicks off.
Like a bitch.
Well, No, she just doesn't like the way her attitude is and the way she mopes about and
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. I think that we could have done without the constant, like, oh, well, I love Eddie, but
I'm
I'm
in
just
love
gonna
with
ignore
Barry.
my feelings for Barry, and no, I don't love Barry, but I'm gonna give that little look like,
But see, that's one of the reasons why I like Joe, because Joe's like, yo, you're being a bitch. Can you just like get with Barry?
right. Like,
Go with Bear.
I know I practically raised this kid, but can you two, like, fuck or something?
He reminds me
like
of
Joe.
Alfred in that part.
A lot of people
Joe.
complained at the beginning of this, and I was like, man, again, like when they cast Candace Patton, that's her name, I think, yeah. They were like, why is Iris going to be black? And it was like, oh, I don't fucking care. Like, come on, man.
She could have been Chinese as long as she's really hot.
Like,
Gives a fuck.
actually, you know what? Go with an Asian Iris West. I would love that. Now that you're mentioning that, they should, when they're doing this convergence thing, I would love it if Iris was Asian. Because they really don't have. Oh, you know what? Damn, that kind of ruins it, though, because there's Linda Park. And that'd be a little bit too coincidental.
And that would mean Barry is, or not Barry, Wally.
Well, Wally is.
Which means they should get a black Wally West.
Yeah. Oh, they got to be doing that next season. Well, we'll talk about next season stuff too. But, you know, people were complaining, and it was like, well, Iris is like a redhead and whatever. And it was like, well, you know what? You're looking back at the comics from when they were made in the fucking 40s and 50s and 60s and stuff. Like, Iris can be black. You know, like,
Yeah.
that doesn't have anything to do with the character. That's not. I would have been fine if they would have cast a black guy as Barry. You know,
It doesn't matter.
Barry's the type of character, like, there's nothing inherently white about him. You know.
And, like, unlike Green Lantern or, like, Spider-Man, where there are black Spider-Man characters and white Spider-Man characters, every version of the Flash has been a white guy.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't have cared if they changed it.
Jay and Barry and Bart and Wally and fucking Max Mercury and
Bart.
you know,
Bart.
like, so I would have been fine with that. But I like Candace Patton. I think that Iris is a little annoying at times, but I like Joe a lot more than I thought I was going to like Joe. I thought he was going to be like a very, very stereotypical father figure, and like that they would beat you over the head with it. But he's cool too, and that's what makes him like him. It makes me like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's times where he's just kind of like, yo, that's fucking sweet and stuff. Like, least favorite part about Joe though, when he was crying his eyes out with Grodd.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a bitch.
It's like,
yeah,
I
he was
don't
gonna-
like monkeys.
He was going to shoot himself, wasn't he? And he had no control of it. I understand. I'd be fucking crying.
I'm fine
not
with when
that.
he had the gun to his head. Of course you're going to be crying at that. But when
Like,
Grodd
my
just
back
shows
hurts.
up, and he's just like, as a girl, I'm scared. Like,
Perhaps he's seen Planet of the Apes and he was like, yeah. Yep.
This is the beginning of the end.
Cisco, by the way, he mentioned Planet of
Oh.
the Apes.
Although that scene was racist when he was like, just give me the banana.
Grodd hates banana.
Grodd, man. We'll talk about the rogues. So, what do you guys think about Joe and Iris? Is that a duo that makes sense? Is that something that you guys are fond of, or are they misses?
I think they fought a little too much. Like, I get it, father-daughter. Daughter wants to be independent. I get that. But there were times where they argued over the dumbest shit.
I love Joe. Joe is great. Joe had so many feelings in the last episode, it almost made me cry.
Oh man, that last episode, all the feels.
Yeah, all the feels.
Speaking of feels, Eddie.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck Eddie. Thank God he's dead.
You don't like Eddie?
I fucking hated Eddie.
Oh,
He was
Yo,
a
but
mopey
I did
cunt.
not. I did not expect him to do that. That actually is one thing that completely caught me off guard.
I gotta say, I did expect it, but I was hoping that it wouldn't happen.
I almost thought someone else was going to shoot Eddie or something. Like, hey, wait, this is his like great grandfather. Just shoot him! Like,
Bang.
My thing is, why didn't Eddie just shoot himself when he discovered that he was a relative of Ebard?
Would you have?
Like, shit, I would have waited as long as possible before I could kill myself.
Last possible option.
Yeah, like, hey, maybe Barry will kill him. Like, you know?
Right?
Yo, Joe, can you go, like, shoot Harrison Wells or something? Like,
well, at that point, you may as well have just shot fucking Eobard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was distracted with Barry. You could have shot him and done and dusted. Could have shot him in the head.
Well, wait a minute. Doesn't him shooting himself create a paradox? He shoots himself, so Eobard never exists. If Eobard never exists, Nora doesn't die. If Nora doesn't die, Barry doesn't become the Flash. And if Barry doesn't become the Flash...
Eddie doesn't shoot himself.
Right.
Speed Force. That's basically their answer to everything. Now, I was hoping... we'll kind of tie in some Harrison Wells and Eobard Thawne talk and stuff with this, too. Of course, I thought that Eddie Thawne was going to be Eobard.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be...
They did that on purpose.
You know? Right, like Eobard's a crappy name, and Eddie's really close to Eobard, so...
Yeah. But I was hoping when they announced that he wasn't, and it was Harrison Wells, I was like, okay, maybe what they're going to do here is... Because they were playing with the idea that there were two of them. I was like, maybe Eddie is Eobard, and Harrison Wells is Hunter Zolomon.
Because Solomon's in a wheelchair.
Solomon's the guy who wants to help make Flash a better hero.
They kind of combine the two.
Right, and I was like, I was really disappointed that they didn't go with that route. Now, at the end of the season, what I'm hoping that we're going to get, because they had Eddie sucked into whatever that wormhole was and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the timeline has to correct itself, and Harrison Wells will come back purely as Harrison Wells and a good guy, because I really, really I loved Harrison Wells. He was probably my favorite character, actually. I loved him working with the people on the good side, and one of my favorite guilty pleasures of the whole thing, and I know that they know this, too, because they purposely did it, with the whole, run, Barry, run! Every time he fucking did that, I was like, ah, he's doing it again. But yeah. I want Harrison to be a good guy, and for Eobard to merge into Eddie's body, and for him to somehow come back to life. Because Eddie as Eobard would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and be pissed off that Iris is with Barry.
Yeah, because he said when he merged in with Harrison Wells, he ended up, like, merging, you know, his thought process and stuff like that. Like, that's why he was not only a genius, but he could feel... you know, like a love for Barry, and that he could... I think the line that he said, and it might be one of the lines they had cut or something, but he said, imagine grieving over losing a wife that you've never even met. So it's like, if you could do that, then he merges with Eddie, and he's like, yo, now I really fucking hate the Flash, because Barry...
I did think there was, like, a really nice irony to it, where he's like, I do what I do because I hate you. But I hate you in the future. You now are like my son.
Mm-hmm. That was great. I loved that. And he was like, what, no Big Belly Burger?
No cow.
I just love the actor who plays him in general. He's great.
Yeah. That's something I probably would have said, like, if I was, like, traveling back in time, where he's like, no, we're out of cows where I come from, but you don't care about that. Ask away.
I saw a great picture the other day of a shot from Scrubs where Tom Cavanaugh is
He's JD's brothers.
Yeah, where it was just a shot from that, and it was like, hey, little speedster. I was like, that's good. The guy who played Eobard Thawne, I don't know who he is. I don't know if I've seen him in anything or whatever like that, but he was kind of creepy looking. I like that. Like the actual Eobard Thawne.
Yeah.
Blonde-haired guy.
He looked way more like Eddie. Like, I could see them being related.
Yeah. By the way, let's throw it out there. Eddie, that dude's fucking good looking.
Like, he's a good looking guy. And oh my god, like, I didn't care about Eddie for a lot of this show. Like, I thought he was just, like, useless. Like, and then they'll probably make him, like, oh, I hate you, Barry, and, like, make him some sort of weird villain. I didn't know what they were going to do. That almost was, like, putting myself in Eddie's position. That was just twisting the knife when he's like, the Thawnes are full of scientists and politicians and dignitaries, and you are the only Thawne that history forgot. Like, god damn, like, your entire life is meaningless, and the only way you have any sort of importance to history is it's your children and grandchildren who will go on to do great things. And no one is gonna remember you. Like, that was just, once he said that, I'm like, damn, Eddie, like,
just go kill yourself.
Right, like, I'm so sorry.
I like how people have pointed out, they're like, Eddie didn't need to kill himself. He could have gotten a vasectomy.
Like, then what would have happened if he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get one. Would he have disappeared right then and there?
He's like, wait a minute. No.
Because then it's like, because they could be like, oh, well, I changed my mind. And all of a sudden he comes back. It's like, nah, you know what? I am gonna go get it. He disappears again.
Yeah, he gets the vasectomy reversed, and Eobard pops back up. What the fuck is going on here?
Well, he is the reverse Flash.
Eddie, stop fucking around with your dick.
How messed up would it have been if Eddie shot himself and nothing happened?
I actually was kind of expecting that to happen a little bit too.
Either he already had a kid, like knocked someone up in the past and never meant, or like I had said before, like technically Eobard is supposed to be paradox proof, like existing in time the way he does. Like he kind of like closed his own time loop. So even if you kill Eobard as a child, Reverse Flash still exists. Like he himself still exists. So I thought they were going to go that route. And then when they didn't, I was like, oh, okay.
What did you guys think of the fucking... I thought this was ridiculous, though. The wheelchair turned out to be a fucking time machine.
Well, it had like a super battery in it that like charged up his powers.
Yeah, that was like, oh, come on.
You didn't really need that. No, I thought one of my favorite moments from the finale is when like he's about to go into the portal and the fucking like Jay Garrick helmet pops out and he goes,
yes.
What is that? That is my cue to leave. Almost like he knew what that was.
Yeah. Now, Shaun, we're going to move to somebody that I know that you're fond of. Good old Caitlin Snow.
Oh, I love Caitlin. She's great.
She looked so hot as fucking Killer Frost.
Oh my god, with the blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't know why blonde, but whatever. She's going to be a hot blonde.
I do like Danielle Panabaker, I can't remember how to pronounce her name. And I think it's kind of weird, though. Like, Killer Frost, is there a version of it that I'm not aware of that isn't a total psycho killer?
Nope. She's going to be a total psycho killer.
That's why I'm surprised she didn't go off the deep end when fiance died. Fuck, what's his name?
Ronnie
Raymond.
Ronnie. I expected that to be like in the very beginning when she said her name was Caitlin Snow. I was like, okay, her not coping with Ronnie's death is what's gonna set her off. And now I'm wondering if this new timeline is gonna be like Ronnie still died somehow, but she did go off the deep end.
Okay, apparently there are 3 versions of her. There's Crystal Frost. Didn't try hard on that one, did you? Who was a love interest for Martin Stein. That's odd. So that kind of makes sense why they introduced Firestorm with her.
You know, I heard that Martin Stein is going to be in Legends of Tomorrow, but Ronnie Raymond isn't.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. That's confusing.
They said there's going to be a reason, and like we'll get it when they say it. But right now, I'm just scratching my head.
And apparently there's Dr. Louise Lincoln, and she's the psycho one. But then there is Dr. Caitlin Snow. And this is from New 52, I think. Yeah, this looks like this is New 52, and she's not as bad. So that makes sense, you know. Because they can't take somebody like that and make her just like a psycho killer completely.
I did like that they hint that Cisco has powers.
Yeah, that was cool. The
Fucking
whole, you know, I saw a great picture on, I think it was Reddit or whatever, and somebody took maybe the guy that does the synopsis thing, which those are pretty good, but it was a shot of him saying, "You've got some powers. Get my vibe?"
I was so happy when Wells killed him in that one timeline. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, you know what, Cisco? And then
You don't like Cisco?
I don't like Cisco.
See, I gotta say both Caitlyn and Cisco are hits.
No, Caitlyn's a definite hit.
But Cisco's a miss?
Yeah. He annoys me.
I like Cisco.
I didn't love Cisco at first, and he grew on me.
Yeah, I actually got kind of not like the finale anywhere near it, but I got a little emotional when Eobard killed him.
Got a little verklempt.
Like when he killed him, like before Barry did the whole time thing, and like he was getting real emotional, and it was like, "You've shown me what it's like to have a son," and stuff like that. Like I'm like, God damn, like.
And he's like, and I'm gonna show you what it's like to get a fucking heart ripped out. I like Cisco enough that I'm down with him being vibe. Not digging Firestorm though.
It grew on me. I didn't like it at first, but now it's okay.
Firestorm's a character, I'll admit, that I've never liked.
In the comics, he's really weird.
Mm. And when they introduced Jason Rush, and he was just kind of like, I'm some dude that is like spying on the Firestorm shit and whatever. Blah, I don't care. Don't care about the old dude. Don't care about Ronnie Raymond. Like, I don't know. It's my least favorite out of the primary characters like that.
I don't mind the old guy. I don't like Ronnie.
But you like the old guy?
I like the old guy. He makes me laugh.
I do like how they have that little banter sometimes now, where they're like hours. They almost
Our
talk,
wedding.
right.
Yeah.
Like they almost talk like Venom and Eddie.
Or like a married couple.
Venom.
Somebody say Venom.
Oh God, where's fucking what's his name? I just know him as creepy Venom guy now.
What do you guys think about the Rogues Gallery? There's Grodd, there's the Prison Break guys, Captain Cold and Heatwave, and his sister Golden Glider, which she's not a glider at all. We've got
I need to pull it up because when they did the Rogues in like the next to last episode, I completely forgot about some of those guys, and I didn't even remember who they were.
You know, one person, though, that I'm really disappointed that they didn't do, and this will get into what they need. Not what I want, what they need to do in Season 2. Fucking Mirror Master.
Yeah, I would like to see Mirror Master.
He needs to show up. And he should be a big villain, too. Because that's like, it's a dumb power, but if done well, that's really powerful. To be able to do that. I mean, shit, this guy broke into the fucking Batcave. Like,
Right.
but I don't know. A lot of these rogues, I'm not feeling them too much.
I think
Blackout, I think is her name. I don't really like her.
Blackout. Which one was Blackout?
I think that's her name. The girl who could teleport.
Oh, Nightcrawler.
I didn't think her name was Blackout.
Let me see here. Pied Piper I thought was a little odd, but he's supposed to be odd, so that's okay.
Yeah. I thought Grodd was going to be really cheesy, and even though they kind of should have chipped in a couple extra dollars for the CGI, he was actually better in his premiere episode than he was in a lot of those side episodes, where like he pops up at the very end. There were a couple of those, he just looked like a high school kid made a CGI gorilla. But like at the end, like I was like, all right, like I'll excuse it, I'll let it go.
I like. Go ahead.
Sorry, what?
No, you go ahead.
The one of my favorite ones that was really upsetting was the electric guy.
Which
What
one
was
was
his-
that?
The guy who could control electricity, and he was trying to kill Harrison Wells because the his friends died in the particle accelerator explosion. Because when he was like crawling up a transformer, they were drunk and screwing around at a power
yeah.
plant, and then like his friends died because of his abilities. I actually kind of like that episode.
I think that's Blackout.
That's Blackout?
Because it makes more sense, he causes a blackout.
Yeah. You know what that is, Blackout.
Who the hell was the girl then? What the hell was her fucking name?
My favorite one was Captain Cold.
I think they're making him way more important than he needs to.
Well, they need to because of,
His character. It's the same thing with Sarah in Arrow. He's popular, so now they're shoehorning him into things. There's no way Snart should be a member of Legends of Tomorrow. He's not a hero, he's a villain. They tried to trust him here and he fucking, screwed them over. There's no way he should be a hero. And I know they didn't call him a hero, they called him a legend, which you could then argue, yeah, well, as a villain, he is a legend. Still, he's on a team of heroes. This isn't the Suicide Squad.
Trying to bring up some of these names. Of course, I can't find any, really,
Everyman was a little creepy.
Everyman, yeah. That was a bit weird.
Yeah. And who's the guy? I keep wanting to call him Multiple Man, but I think that's Marvel.
Blank face.
Yeah, Multiple Man's Marvel.
Multiplex. That was his name. I thought that one was a little dumb. They're all beating on Barry, but, he should be able to move so fast it doesn't matter.
I liked Wade Eiling. That was good.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen either Eiling as the guy in Oliver's Past, that general. I would have liked to have seen a little crossover there that wouldn't have directly affected anything. But then if they were going to just go ahead and kill the general, then yeah, can't do Eiling.
Peekaboo is the girl I'm thinking of.
Peekaboo, that's the one.
Name.
Yeah, but
she's a stupid character.
Worse though, the Bug-Eye Bandit.
Is he the one who made everyone angry?
She was the one who controlled the bees.
Oh, that bitch. They weren't even bees.
So dumb. That was when the kind of the silliness of the Flash was just all right, well, Barry can run into the past and he can't outrun a fucking bee.
Right.
Come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
But I do like Weather Wizard. That was cool. I thought that including Grodd was really ambitious, even though the CGI is not quite there yet.
He's such a staple, though, of the Flash, that you kind of had to do it.
Girder was kind of cool, the guy who turned himself into metal.
Yeah, I did like that they didn't call him Girder, but they called the practice dummy Girder. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. By the way, that's one of my favorite things about the show, that Cisco names them.
Yeah.
Because you have to name them in a way, but hanging a lampshade on it makes it a lot easier.
That's the thing that I hate Cisco for.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like how he's he's
given all the cheesy
weather
names.
Wizard, look at that.
Yeah. It's so, but you know what? But the Flash character names are so cheesy, and Cisco is such a cheesy guy that it practically wrote itself that he has to be the one. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like in Spider-Man in the movies when Jameson and the Bugle came up with the villain names. Right. You kind of have to, you can't just have everyone declare, I am the Weather Wizard. That's really stupid. But Cisco being oh, this guy's like a weather wizard. Well, there you go. Done.
What'd you guys think of the Trickster, that episode? That was a cool one.
It was confusing at first, considering the guy who plays his dad was Barry in that TV show. And they basically said that, that guy is the same guy, but not the same version of that guy. It was a little confusing.
Wait, what? Which episode?
The guy Trickster with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, the guy who
with Mark Hamill. Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Henry Allen.
Yeah.
He was Barry Allen in a 1990s TV show, Flash, and it was that show that Mark Hamill played the Trickster.
So awesome.
So then it's so then it was it's not the same universe because his dad's not the part of Flash. But, it was, an homage, but loosely connected, but not exactly. So I wasn't sure where that was going at first. And then when he said, the new Trickster was, his son. But it's it's probably not his son, but...
You know, I'm hoping that they kind of play off that a little bit, and that they do something where, like, they threw the little Jay Garrick thing out there. I'd love to see John Wesley Shipp, the guy who plays Henry Allen. Maybe Barry, when he's trying to fix this wormhole, temporarily gets into some kind of a thing where, like he'll go in and out of this reality next season or something. And one of those is like Earth 2 or whatever. And you got John Wesley Shipp plays Jay Garrick, and he's the Flash, and he's fighting Mark Hamill as the Trickster.
Yo, but how cool would it be if we got to talk about this eventually, but I'll start off with this. When Barry is in the Speed Force and he sees the past, present, future, one of the things he sees is him talking to his father at Iron Heights, but Barry is the one in the Iron Heights prison outfit. And his father is visiting him. What if that's like an alternate timeline where his father becomes the Flash and like he goes to prison, like he was covered in the blood or something like that of his mother, and they thought that he just like snapped and killed his mother or something.
I'm interested.
It's either going to be that, or it's going to be like a throwaway where it's like, oh no, but there's just going to be an episode in season 2 where he goes to prison.
Maybe.
I really hope that was an alternate timeline kind of a thing.
They do have the Flash Museum.
They showed the Flash Museum. I heard that the girl who's going to play Hawkgirl in Legends of Tomorrow was supposed to be in the finale, but I never saw her.
She showed up in one shot.
Yep.
It wasn't in the Speed Force.
No, it was.
They're in the black hole.
Yeah, when the wormhole opens up and there's the big rift and everybody's looking up at the sky.
And it shows Captain Cold, and then it shows the bird, and then it shows the chief of police.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, she just like steps out of a car and looks up, and it's
and you can see all the teeth. It's great.
Can't fly up that high. Like, all I have are fucking wings, and
yeah,
I don't even have them yet. It seems.
But I love the Flash Museum thing. I did love the Killer Frost moment. I don't know if that's going to be an alternate timeline kind of thing, or if killing Eobard makes her. I don't know where they're going to go with that. Wasn't there something else in the Speed Force that he saw?
That's all I can remember.
I feel like there's something else in there.
Although I was a little distracted by Caitlin Frost.
Yeah.
Or Caitlin Snow.
Who?
Killer Snow.
Killers.
Great.
Oh, it's getting kind of heavy out there, guys.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention this about this thing. I didn't like how Barry dated Linda Park.
Yeah, isn't she Wally's girl?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Like, there's some other Flash love interests out there that they should have gone with instead, I think. That were, like, you know, you could go with people from the comics and stuff that, you know, he's not supposed to just be dating Iris, but there was somebody named Patty. I want to say it's like Patty Spigot or something. Patty.
Yeah, but you know what? If they do this now, where it turns out, I know it's his nephew in the comics, but they could easily just make it Joe's son that they just never talk about, and because they don't talk about the mother at all, so I wouldn't be shocked if there was a brother. But like he comes back to Central City, and he ends up getting powers similar to the Flash, and he just introduces him like, "Oh, Linda, like, hey, have you ever met Wally?" And done.
So there's Daphne Dean, there's Fiona Webb, and the one I was trying to think of, Patty Spivot. And Spivot alone works for the Central City Police Department and the crime lab. Like, to me, that would have been a great character to do.
She'll probably be introduced next season.
Yeah, you could do that in season 2. Where, like, maybe, Iris maybe, like, isn't over Eddie killing himself. So, like, even though, like...
Again.
Well, basically, yeah, like, I can't just jump into even if whatever the future says, like, I can't jump into a relationship with you. My fucking fiance killed himself. Like, I need to deal with that. And in that process, Barry meets her.
And he ends up going like, well, I'm going to go bang this chick instead while you're waiting.
It's like, I'm already destined to be with you, so I'm just gonna play the field.
Gonna get some strange first.
Hey, it's not cheating. Not married yet.
He's like, what? You'll marry me anyway?
And besides which, she hyphenates the name anyways.
Yeah, maybe that's why she hyphenates it. She's mad at him still.
That was a great joke, actually.
About
When-
what the...
When Eddie shows Barry the ring, and he's like, Iris Thawne. It's like, don't you just like how that sounds? And he walks away and he goes, I have a feeling she's gonna want to hyphenate. That I thought was really funny.
That scene was one that was really over the top, though. He was just like bug-eyed and smiling from brim to brim, kind of a thing. Like,
Oh, I'm so in love.
oh, Iris is great, isn't she, buddy? Like,
I'm gonna go bang your kind of adopted sister.
but you love her too, right? Don't you, Bear? Yeah, I nailed it. Like, but I think this was a really impressive season. One thing we got to talk about, special effects. I'm surprised they pulled this off.
You can make super speed look really cheesy, and there are times where it does, like where it just looks like he's running, just normal running, but then like everything's whipping by him. I prefer it when he's on the treadmill and his arms and legs are like whizzing by. That, if they just did something like that, I think it would have been a lot better than, hey, look, I'm just a guy running. Like he's running a marathon, but in slow motion, but everything around him is zipping by. Like, I almost hear the every time you see him running, and like his hands are like spread open, and he's like moving them back and forth.
He dumped some water on himself.
No, I had faith with this whole speed thing because, you know, the whole small little thing.
Yeah, but you know what?
Flag to fly, and he had to run around for like 900 seasons.
Yeah, I was going to say for all 10 seasons.
The one thing that, God, just knowing science ruins comic books for me sometimes, is when they showed you in the early episodes where he'd run through the city, and he's like cutting 90 degrees through the city blocks. I'm like, wouldn't the inertia have like smashed his body right there?
Not until inertia pops up in season 2.
It's like, shouldn't he like shouldn't he loop around that corner 90 degrees? Okay, whatever.
Speed Force.
Speed Force.
One of my favorite parts of the whole season, by the way, was when Harrison Wells was talking to him about the Speed Force. That was cool.
Yeah.
To like feel the wind and like that kind of thing.
So
But,
I have
like-
a question. All right.
Shoot.
This is what I was going to bring up earlier on. What happened to Barry from the future then?
The
They
one
never really do explain that.
The one that he comes back and
Adult
saves.
Barry.
Yeah.
vanishes in a crisis.
Right, like, he was there in the room, and he tells Barry, like, basically in so many words, no words at all, but don't save her. And then he runs off. And then you remember in the flashback with Eobard, he's running with Flash, and then his powers crap out, and he just kind of collapses. Flash just keeps running.
Yep.
Where's
Does he go
adult
back to
Barry?
his own time, or is he still there? Is he just a bum on a park bench, or what?
And if he does go back to his own time, then why is there a newspaper article that says he disappeared in a crisis? He just kind of poofed.
I don't know. I don't think that they really have set up too much with that. Gideon knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Founding member of the... Wait a minute.
We can't say that. Because we only have two of us, and one of us doesn't even really count.
That's why it's called Legends of Tomorrow and not Justice League.
Oh, God. If that was fucking Justice League, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, but... Remember they were talking about having the guy from Smallville come back as Superman?
Yeah, that's season 2, yeah.
I think that was
I hope
supposed
so.
to be for
I think that was just a
Supergirl.
rumor. Well, no,
Tom
I think that
Welling
was...
for Flash. It was supposed to be for Flash.
Tom Welling in the Flash as Superman. That was just supposed to be a rumor. Like, I don't think that was ever actual, like...
Yeah.
I hope so.
They'll never do it.
I hope so. I love Tom Welling. He's great.
And then they race each other the entire episode.
Yep. I'd be down. I'd be down for that.
Flash just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Isn't
should.
that a...
When you run
Yeah, they called it Flash the Streak at first. Didn't they call him the Blur?
Yeah, the red-blue blur.
Yeah.
And then he wore black because he was emo.
Yep, and then they just
Like a
took the red
silver
to blue.
on his chest.
Somebody say
Then Lex was Zod.
Oh, the fucking Smallville theme is the fucking one, though, isn't it?
That was a good thing. I do like the music for this, though, too, by the way. Same guy who does the Arrow one. Although I like Arrow's music better. Flash
You know
is
what,
a little
though?
bit annoying with the whole, like...
Yeah, I never thought about it until, like, these last few episodes have come out. But I really loved when Dr. Wells or, like, Eobard, whatever, would be, like, doing something evil or he'd be in the costume. And you just hear that... like, in the background.
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
When he's
It's really
disguising
hard
his
to,
face
like...
and shit.
It's
When he's
yeah,
vibrating.
the
Oh,
sound,
the sound.
he makes when his face vibrates.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
like,
music.
It is music. It's like background music for that character it turned into by the end. But you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to make the sound, but it's like...
Yeah.
like that noise where he's, like, shaking his face. But, like, even times where he wasn't going quickly, you can hear that music play in the background.
Huh.
Like that sound effect.
I never picked up on that. Wells is awesome. Goddamn. Such a good
Yeah.
character. So, what do you guys think your biggest hit, your biggest miss is from Flash Season 1? It's tough.
It's weird because there's no one moment where I'm like, yeah, that's the greatest moment or that's the worst moment.
Biggest hit for me is the scene with Barry Allen and his mum.
That was brutal. I almost cried.
Yeah, I know. I felt it. Like I was
The
pushing it back.
feels in that scene. I teared up. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't cry. My eyes watered though.
Right, same here.
I got a little bit. Yeah.
I was like, I gotta fight it back. I don't want to cry.
I'm in my room by myself, but I need to still like.
Exactly, I did the same thing. It was like, nobody would know, but I would.
and then I have to like watch other episodes of The Flash like with my girlfriend later or something and be like, "I'm gonna cry like a bitch in like 2 more episodes." Like
I already cried at that Futurama scene where Fry talks to his mom in the dream.
Oh yeah, I cried at that as well. Sad.
That got me, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this again. Where somebody comes back in time and talks to their dead mom. Like,
I miss. I would have to say not seeing Dr. Wells in a bath with cans of beer.
And little rubber duckies.
Yeah, little rubber duckies, yeah.
What about you, Sam? Biggest hit and miss?
you know what? I'm gonna go with something really obscure for my biggest hit. Because it's not that it's the greatest thing on the show, but it's just something that I'm like, they did that on a CW thing, because like it was really creepy. When they found the body of Wells, like the real Wells, that just mangled looking skeleton in the dirt. Like that was nasty. Like the entire time they're, and you know what? They didn't even get emotional about it. Like, oh my god, Dr. Wells is dead. It's like, wait, this is Wells? Who are we working with? But like the mouth was open and like, I'm just like, this guy is like a character we've known all season. Like this is actually the guy. He's just fucking dead, decomposed. Like I felt really bad, and like that was probably my biggest hit. I don't know why. It just that struck me as, damn. Biggest miss, probably when Barry goes back in time the first time. Like where he's got to stop that like tsunami or whatever. Yeah, and he's just going straight back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Doesn't even get to like light speed, and just all of a sudden goes back in time, like for no reason. You broke the time barrier. Going
the time barrier.
And it's like he breaks the time barrier by running slower than he has to. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's in the Speed Force because he sees that other him going through the Speed Force. But then in the finale, they're like, no, you need to travel faster than you've ever gone in order to go through the Speed Force.
Mach 2?
Right. He's never traveled that fast, but like he's going so fast on the beach, and he doesn't even get up that fast, and poof, time travels. That one didn't make any sense to me. I didn't like that.
I'd have to say, probably my biggest hit. They finally made me think that Barry getting his powers makes sense, using a particle accelerator.
Yeah, not just lightning and chemicals.
Yeah,
Like
I've never
chemicals
understood
and
the
like
hard water thing, which is like,
like
what?
they were there, like the chemicals rising up, but that
Mhm.
wasn't what gave him the powers. It was just kind of there as a nod to the comics. I
Right.
did appreciate that.
I would love it if from now on it's particle accelerator that gives him powers. That would make so much more sense to me.
Like change it in the comics to that.
Yep. Totally would be fine for that.
Yeah.
Biggest miss? That's tough. Probably some of the sillier moments. Like, Peekaboo and the fucking bug-eyed bandit and whatever.
You know what was a miss for me? The entire episode with Plastique.
The whole thing?
The whole episode. I was not a fan of any of that. And Eiling finds out that he's Flash in that episode, but they don't even know that he knows till like the next to last episode.
Doesn't he make up for it though by I am Grodd? I laughed immediately.
You know what?
At that. I was like, I'm not supposed to laugh, but I am.
You know what? Here's another like point where I'm just like, oh god, they did this just because they could for no other reason. Wasn't there one where someone was like, oh god, and he goes, no, Grodd.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh god, the fucking Superman 2 line. You really did it. God.
To be fair, if I was writing the show, I probably would have done that too, and they would have been like, dude, don't. And I'd be like, it's terrible. I have to. Like,
oh god. Like,
oh god. So, make sure you guys tell us what you thought of season 1 of The Flash. Tell us what you think is going to be coming your way season 2. What do you want to see? What villains do you want to see pop up? How do you want to see them incorporate crossovers with Legends of Tomorrow, Legends of the Past, Legends of 5 Days from Now,
Legends
Arrow,
of the Temple.
Yeah, all that other kind of legends and stuff. Leave your comments below on YouTube. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, leave your comments on fanboysanonymous.com. And we're going to do some plugs real quick here, and then we'll say goodbye to you guys. So, Shaun, plugs?
Listen to Gotham. I'm listening to Arrow. Those are my plugs.
Sam?
Just catch me writing for fanboysanonymous.com, and I'll try not to bang my head against the wall while I keep applying to graduate school.
Try.
Fail.
For my side of things, guys, remember about the All Talk Show. If you like to listen to us banter about stuff, then you would love to hear us banter about nonsense and completely random topics where we just let anything happen and we are really, really mean and stuff. So you can find that on the same places you can find all the podcasts for Fanboys Anonymous, for Smart Out Moment, and for All Talk Show. That's iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.com. And it's .com/All Talk Show, Fanboys Anonymous, and Smart Out Moment. So if you're interested in any of those topics, go hunting for all the things under a mango tree. That's episode 13 of Reviewpoint. And I am Tony Mango for the panel. Thank you, everybody, listening. See you next time.